of Iman. So we ask Allah for pardon from that. And for this reason, the Shaykh says that the Salaf, they used to say, Al-Mushabbihu ya'budu sanaman, wal-Mu'attilu ya'budu adaman, wal-Muwahhidu ya'budu rabban fardan samadan. This means that the Mushabbih, the one who resembles Allah with the creation, he worships an idol. And the Mu'attil, the one who negates Allah's attributes, then he is the one who worships nothingness. He just worships nothing, the nothingness, non-existence. And the Muwahhid, the one who affirms for Allah His names and attributes in a manner that befit Him, then he worships a unique, singular Lord who is Samad, meaning who is described with the best, who is described with attributes, with their best and most lofty meanings. And then the Shaykh, so after speaking about the attribute of Allah which is clearly established in the hadith, the Shaykh then goes on to say that when the Messenger says La yus'alu biwajhillah, then he, obviously this is an affirmation of the face of the face for Allah, and this is a mighty face which is to be glorified and venerated, and this is done by not asking for insignificant small things, asking by way of the face of Allah small insignificant things or from the worldly life or from the pleasures of the worldly life. Rather, the only thing that is asked by way of Allah's face is something which itself is great and mighty, like paradise, because paradise is the greatest of all of those things that a person seeks, that he seeks after, and it is rather the extreme, not the extreme, but it is the thing that every believer seeks for. The greatest and the primary thing that a person seeks after. So therefore, paradise is a great thing. It's a great thing, and so therefore, the face of Allah should only be called upon, and asking by way of the face of Allah, should be done only for paradise or what leads a person to paradise from the righteous actions. This is why in a hadith there occurs the saying of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "As'aluka al-jannah wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin wa amal, wa a'udhu bika min an-nar wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin wa amal." That I ask you for paradise and whatever brings closer to it of speech or action. Right? So paradise or whatever brings a person close to it by way of speech or action. And so the Shaykh says that, so therefore nothing is to be asked for by way of Allah's face except paradise, and this in itself is a glorification and a veneration of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And and to glorify Him and to glorify His face away from asking for insignificant small things. And the Shaykh says that everything which is less than paradise in reality is considered insignificant and small unless it itself brings the person closer to paradise. And that obviously means anything which is a righteous action which brings a person closer to Allah. Then of course in that situation you can ask by way of Allah's face for it. So therefore the Shaykh then concludes that in this hadith there are two important lessons or issues. First of all is affirming the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is very clear and very apparent from the texts that were mentioned. And secondly is the prohibition of asking for the small insignificant things by way of the face of Allah. And what is a small insignificant thing? It is anything which is less than paradise. Anything less than paradise, or anything less than paradise which doesn't bring a person closer to closer to entering paradise. Then a person is not to ask by way of the face of Allah for that thing. The Shaykh says that there remains one thing about this hadith. The Shaykh says that the hadith has been reported by Abu Dawood, and in its isnad is Sulaiman bin Mu'adh and this person is da'if, so therefore the hadith is da'if. So how can the author then bring the hadith which is da'if? The Shaykh says, the Shaykh asks this question, then he says that we say that the author, rahimah-ullah, in his book Kitab-ut-Tawheed, sometimes he seeks evidence by way of authentic ahadith, or sometimes by way of ahadith which are hasan. On occasionally he might bring evidences by way of ahadith which are da'ifa, but which nevertheless have evidences, or which have shawahid, witnesses, which strengthen that hadith. And this hadith is among such examples, because in this hadith there is a mention of the face of Allah, and we know that the face of Allah is established many times in the book of Allah and the Sunnah of Allah's Messenger in any case. So that's the end of that chapter, and that's the end of the lesson, and we'll close the lesson there, inshallah. We'll continue next week with some more chapters from this book.